All right, everybody. Today at Hoops and Cards, we get the exciting overlap here with the Basketball Forever Network. I almost said Forever Never. Chris, from a podcast that's specifically dedicated to betting on basketball, man, welcome to the show. Great to have you with us today.
Hey, I appreciate that, Gary. It's always good to, it's good to be here, man. I'm happy, excited to, get a chance to kind of chat. And I like like you said, the overlay of, both for the Basketball Forever, two of the Basketball Forever podcast, network podcasts actually coming together. It's like a collaboration. I like it.
Oh, for sure. And I think that the fun thing is we're watching the games or paying attention at least to what's going on in the NBA every day. And friends out of Hoops and Cards world, this is called Cashed It, right? Cashed It with Chris.
Yeah.
That's an awesome name. You hopefully are having some success and roller coaster ride here with the NBA. Like, my deal is I've been basketball card guy for a while, but this whole world of betting on sports it's become real here in Ohio lately, man. They're just giving away free money. Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think for the sports books, Gary, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you in, right? They just want to get you in, and however they can lure you in, because they know that the novice better, the new better. Most people aren't professional gamblers. They don't know how to find an edge or an advantage, so they just go out and kind of like how I started, just kind of go out and think you watch it all the time. So you're like, yeah, this team's going to win. They always win. And they'll cover the spread too. I don't even know what the spread is, but they'll cover it. You need them to win by 7. They always win by 10. Yeah, so I'll take them tonight. And then, you lose, and then you want your money back. So you end up uploading money that they gave you, that they didn't give you, and you've lost the free money. And next thing you know, you're in it, and you're like, man, I got to get my money back. So I don't think it's that. I think it's genius networking. Well, not genius networking. It's genius marketing by them, Gary. Give you a few dollars. These companies have billion-dollar market evaluation. So they give you a free $50 or $100 or even $500. I've seen some up to $1,000. It's just like yeah, it looks like they're doing you a favor, and people can take advantage of it, Gary. It can be taken advantage of, but for most people, they don't know how to do it.
Well, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show, there are many reasons, Chris, by the way, but we've only got a few minutes today. I want to focus in. You track with what's going on in the NBA and what you think is about to happen, right? What you forecast is going to happen tonight or this week, and you track with the teams. And because of the advent of all the online world of basketball cards, that's what we love to do as well. We're tracking prospects, breakout players, guys that have potential to pop in the playoffs, because if Mikal Bridges, or if it's Michael, I'm not always sure how to say the guy's name, but Mikal, okay, he had 44 points last night, and immediately during the game, people are online buying his cards, like buying his rookie cards, buying his silver or autograph cards. Well, same deal for you guys. You are noticing and maybe betting in the middle of the game or before the game on how many points this guy is going to score. Maybe you can talk to me about just the whole forecasting and trying to predict each day what happens in the NBA.
Yeah, hey Gary, it's so. I think it's so cool the way it kind of overlaps. Like you said, a guy's going off in a game, and you're like, everybody's on eBay trying to find that card, and likewise for his bettors, like, wow, man, I didn't know it was going to be his night. But I think that's how you kind of forecast it, though, Gary. You just, you when you're betting on sports, it's all about opportunity, right? You want to pick players that you've read about, that you've actually seen play. And we know that, a big part of it is opportunity, right? Like Mikal Bridges didn't have the opportunity that he has now, a month and a half ago when he was, on that Phoenix Suns team playing behind Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. He just kind of, got his when he could, also having Cam Johnson there. But then you move them to this new team, and they don't have a star, right? They don't have that shooting guard that can go out there and get their own bucket. They got a bunch of guys that just, 3-and-D guys that stand around, shoot 3-pointers, but can't really create their own shot. And having that opportunity is what's big. And I think it's that way for a bunch of role players, Gary. So evaluating that on a daily basis is almost like you need injuries, right? Of course you need if I want a role player, I need somebody to be out. And I need essentially it'd be nice sometimes if you can get 2 guys out, right? 1 or 2 guys out, and I need to know that this player minutes, they've been playing consistently, but tonight they're going to get a big uptick. So today is what, March the 27th, Gary, and I just off my brain, I'm thinking what comes to mind is the Bucks will take on the Detroit Pistons in Detroit later tonight. And I've already seen that Drew Holiday has been ruled out for personal reasons. Nothing wrong with him, but it sounds like he's taking the day off just because they're playing against the Detroit Pistons and their 16-point
it's load
favorites.
management, right? We can beat Detroit. We don't need Drew out there.
And
we
also
can get Jordan Nwora a bunch of threes.
Right. So Jordan Nwora actually went to the Pacers. He just left.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking?
Yeah, he went to
the other guy, Beauchamp or whatever.
So Beauchamp might be in for the duty tonight, because not only is Drew out, but also Giannis just got rolled out. They're ruling him out with the knee. So you know what I mean? So now we get a lot more usage, right? Like who is who's coach going to throw in tonight? Because it's going to be a guy off the bench that's going to exceed his value, And if you can kind of figure out who that guy is, then you have the opportunity to make a lot of money betting, NBA player props on a night like tonight, especially when you're getting the Detroit Pistons, who offense, just is not the greatest.
Right.
And they're just kind of giving it up. So
definitely going to be some opportunity. Jaden Ivey could be 5 points one night or 30 the next night. But there's a ton of overlap. We don't get into as much of the in-game stuff unless it's a guy that looks like he's having a breakout night and we have time to possibly flip his cards. Like a month ago, Cam Thomas was such a big play in the sports card space, and now nobody's talking about him because of that trade and because he's back to the bench. But at the same time, there are ways, a lot of us in sports cards, basketball, NBA fans, like we do a little bit of everything, like not just cards. Sometimes our guys are into sports betting. In fact, some of our new friends in Australia, they're saying like, yeah, this has always been big for us, like the sports betting craze. I've got a buddy who we went to a Pacers game about a month ago. And before we went, I picked him up at his house, and there's this big, huge box. They had just got a new dishwasher, like a new $400 dishwasher, made his wife really happy. But he's like, yeah, DraftKings paid for that. I'm like, what? He just went on and had a friend of his go on, and they got the free $200 to join or whatever. And then they bet opposing sides of a game, and somebody's gonna win $200 free. So you do that with how many people you think do that and then just cash out or eventually get hooked because they've got a few dollars left that they.
I think it really comes down to your competitive nature, Gary. Like how competitive are you? Like how much do you watch the games? How much do you feel like that gives you an edge? Because I will tell you, the more that the more research you do, the sharper you feel like your picks are, and then that can lead you, to kind of wanting to play again, even if if it is just your first time. So, it's kind of like going to the blackjack table, Gary. You might not know how to play, but you can kind of pick the game up pretty quickly, right? Right. And if you win a couple hands, you might want to play a couple more, So
that's what's happened. That's what's happened to me, Chris. Just being honest with you, like I have cashed out some of that initial free money and I've used it on cards, or I gave it to my family for something. And then at the same time, there's a few free bets left, or there's some money left. And I need your help. Maybe this is like a therapy session or an advice session, because I will go in and like you said, you win once and you feel like, oh, I got this. I can do this again. And what I've been doing is, because I track with, like you said, following players and who's getting playing time, who's getting opportunities. And I've learned that I can't usually tell maybe a specific statistic, like how many assists a guy's going to get or how many points the guy's going to get. But there's certain players that if you give me a chance to bet that Damian Lillard is going to make a 3-pointer tonight, I'm going to bet on that, or 2 threes or 3 threes. And then you pick 5 or 6 guys that are always jacking up threes, and I bet all 5 of them and they all do it and I win. And then there's times where like, maybe you can explain how parlays work for the novice of us, because we think we can just stack 3, 4, 5 games on top of each other and make more money. Is that a thing?
That's a big thing, Gary. People love chasing the big plays, man. I'm more of a straight bettor myself, just as far as like tracking my plays and making sure I want to get a nice return on my investment. And the higher the higher your odds are, the less probability you have of winning, of course, right? So when you start, adding in another player, adding in another player, yet another player, you just decrease your chances of winning. Now, can it be fun and can it be, is there a place for it? Absolutely, right? But that's when we talk about like bankroll management and unit management, right? We don't want to dump our whole bankroll on that. We want to make sure we only allocating, small a percentage of our, our bankroll when we're doing things like that. Because I think it's cool to have, one or two like, fun size bets for the night where we just kind of say, you know what, well, if I hit this one, I'll probably call in tomorrow and I can go on that nice shopping spree, right? Or, I could buy the wife a new bag. Or...
I had one bet last week where it was like, I bet 25 cents and I had four NBA games, and each game I picked 5 or 6 guys who were going to make a 3-pointer. And all of them did except one. And that 25 cents would have made me something like $60. I'm like, come on. And it was somebody that usually drains threes. And I'm like, what?
But that's all it takes though, Gary. All it takes is that one. And that's what happens when you parlay. You just looking for that one. And typically it's the guy that, that you, like you said, it's the guy that always
drains.
How is
Jaylen Brown only making 1 3-pointer tonight? Like this is my venting moment, Chris.
No, that's how it goes though. That's how it goes. Like, the NBA season is full of ebbs and flows. And I think a lot of, like you said, the novice bettor will, say, oh, all right, let me go check his game log. Okay, he had 3 last game, so I know he's going to make at least 2 this game. And he hit 3 before that, so I know he's going to hit, at least 2 this game. So I'll just take him to hit 2 because he's already hit 3 in back-to-back games. But if that positive correlation is happening, eventually, it has to go down. NBA season is a bunch of ebbs and flows, which is why, the betting markets put these lines where they put them at, right? Because they know that you may go over, but you may fall 1 point short, right? You may fall 2 points short.
If you think you can outsmart these guys or you can outsmart the averages, I don't know.
Right.
The thing I would clarify too for our listeners, you guys at Hoops and Cards or Cashed It with Chris, we're not making any money from DraftKings or FanDuel on this podcast. So we can say, hey, like, I don't know if you notice this, but every commercial we see, they have to throw in some disclaimer or some encouragement, like gamble wisely, or if you have a gambling addiction, call this number, or we really have, like you said, because they know we're competitive. They know we're going to get into it. With cards, I can buy like for the last 2 years, I have been buying Tyrese Maxey cards. Here's a guy that got the opportunity, right? And then early season, he got injured, but now he's back starting again. And I don't know how the Hornets or whoever did it, they held him to 37 points the other night. Like he's an awesome young player. And so we're always looking for who is the next guy to step up, the next Desmond Bane that's actually going to be not just Cam Thomas having a great day or two, but who is going to take their game, right? And be at that next level. And I don't know if you have any players like that maybe you're like, dude, even Bet 365 hasn't found out about this guy yet. Like I got Andrew Nemhard and they don't. I don't know what guys are coming to mind for you that you're looking for.
Man, Gary, it's a lot. I mean, I could think of, if I really sit down and thought about it, I'm pretty sure I could think of a lot of guys, but one that really jumps out the page. And I think, we talked about it at the beginning, right? It's all about that usage and opportunity. I'm thinking a lot about Austin Reeves right now with the Los Angeles Lakers, right? Just his ability, to be able to do so many things, right? I know he's going to be in for a pretty big contract, and, not having LeBron for, about that month that the Lakers didn't have him, he was able to really kind of get in there and kind of flourish, especially when you think about just his skill set and how it's kind of unmatched. He does so much for the team, Gary. So, he's like a Swiss Army knife because he can really play, pretty solid defense.
He's not just a catch and shoot guy,
but he can shoot though, and he can also get to the rim, right?
But he's not like go stand in a spot, catch it, shoot it. He's doing all the things, and he can
dribble, right? Yeah, he can shoot really good free throws. He's a good knockdown shooter, mid-range. He doesn't mind penetrating and dishing. Penetrating and finishing. So I think about a guy like him, Gary, given the opportunity, like we always talk about, you need the opportunity for Nembhard. You really see him flourish earlier this season when they go to Golden State of all places and get a win as a dog on the second leg of a back-to-back without Tyrese Halliburton. That was the best game he had all year. And I think the game before that was the game that he hit the game-winning shot off the pass from Tyrese Halliburton against my Lakers in LA. So yeah, it's all about that opportunity. It's all about that opportunity, Gary. And then you see the guys kind of flourish in that role. And I think for Austin Reeves, second year, It's definitely, he's one of those guys I think about that could, given the right opportunity, could definitely be one of those guys for
So
sure.
like if you're looking at the schedule and like you said earlier, Giannis ain't playing tonight, or Drew isn't playing tonight, you're familiar with that team enough to know which guys have to step up scoring wise, right? Because that may mean you got more on Middleton and Bobby Portis and whoever else they got in there to score, but you also got some guys that are going to play that usually don't. You get the advantage and correct me if I'm wrong, like when about tonight's starting lineup, and sometimes they don't tell you till like 30 minutes before the game. Like I've been to a Cavaliers game with my son and we find out 15 minutes before that Mitchell's not load management, man. But like you can know what, I don't know, what are there certain teams where you're like, oh, I really hope this guy sits out because I want to see, more. I want to see more opportunity for Anthony Simons or whoever it is.
Absolutely. I think you mentioned that Anthony Simons, I think, is the perfect example, Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was reading something earlier this morning about Shaedon Sharp. Shaedon Sharp this guy, like, I think
29 last night.
29 last night. I think he's the only other rookie this season to have 3 consecutive games of at least 24 points other than Paolo Banchero. So like this dude is like, it's like we talked about, it's all about the opportunity, right? And you take out Damian Lillard, you take out Jeremy Grant, you take out, Nurkic, you take out Anthony Simons, and then boom, right? Like somebody has to go out. It's not like they're going to go out there and score 7 points for the full game, right? So somebody has that, that opportunity. And as you say it, like I'm just looking at my phone right now, live, like, Embiid just got rolled out two minutes ago. So, that's more opportunity, especially Maxey, right?
Getting 40 tonight.
Right.
Especially with Harden doing the dishing. He's good.
Yeah.
Well, dude, thank you so much for there are a lot of overlaps. And yet, if we want to learn more about online sports betting, basketball betting, tell us about your podcast. Tell us any like basic advice. You're like, this is what I'd recommend. But first, to listen to you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Gary, and I appreciate the opportunity for this, man. So I do a show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Basketball Forever podcast network called Cash It with Chris. And what I do is I like to try to get ahead of the lines. I like to try to get them out early. So typically, I'm doing the podcast. It's recorded or on all podcast streaming platforms, of course, but it's also recorded on YouTube as well. So I do it live on YouTube at 7 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every single day, try to get ahead of the lines. Now, does that work all the time? Absolutely not. You already mentioned that, as injuries kind of taking place and we're getting injuries throughout the day. We don't know at 7 a.m. who's going to be in, who's going to be out. But, I try to do my best to have all that homework done for you guys, let you guys know where I see an edge as far as betting markets based on the information that I have. And I'll have official plays that I have sometimes in the morning, just depending on confidence level, depending on the manipulation of the injury report as well. But yeah, I definitely, encourage everyone to check me out over on YouTube. Also, I do 2 shows a day, Gary. I also do I call it the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show at 5:30 Eastern time, where we have more information because we have about an hour and a half before game time. So I do that show.
You're all in, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, once we get a little more information, I typically double back around and I do an evening show with more official plays. I'll have the news about Giannis, which I didn't have this morning. Have the news about Drew Holiday, about Joel Embiid that I didn't have this morning. So, we'll get updated lines, we'll get updated player props, and try to go back in and make some money. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have a pick for the NBA finals? Who you got and what kind of odds are you seeing there?
So I've been looking at that, Gary. It's really difficult right now. We know that the Western Conference is kind of like up in the air. It feels like almost anybody can win it when you think of when you take out those, top 3 seeds. And we need to see, to me, it feels like we need to see the Suns. I know we got a small sample size of, Kevin Durant when he joined the Suns. I think it was just 3 games and they did go 3-0 in those games. And they really, really need him. So I feel like Phoenix is probably the best team to come out the West, but I don't want to ride off the Denver Nuggets quite yet. They've been the number 1 seed. I feel like we do have to give them, a little respect that they deserve throughout the regular season. Jokic has been in this position a couple times, but not quite like this, Gary, in my estimation. He's never had Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. to ride with him, healthy, right? So I don't think you can discount them yet. In the Eastern Conference, it does feel like Boston started to slip, but it feels like they're trying to get it back together. But man, Milwaukee is they're a tough team right now.
They really are.
It's hard to bet against them. So if I had to pick out of the Eastern Conference, I would be taking Milwaukee. I just don't see a lot of flaws in their game. I mean, defensively with Giannis and Brook Lopez back there, who's in contention for Defensive Player of the Year, and Drew Holiday being able to lock down pretty much any of your guards. And then they're so unselfish. They play a really good brand of offense as well, a bunch of three-point shooters, and then you have to figure out how you're going to guard Giannis as well. So I think, right, best of luck, right? So I think about, if I had to, push my chips all in, it will be on the Bucks right now, Gary. I do think, and it kind of goes back and forth right now. I don't have any future bets, but I think right now they are the favorite to win it all, and it's about plus 250. So you're getting about 2.5 times back what you put down. If you
were that to win it all or just to make the finals?
To win it all, it all, they're like a plus 250. So they have the worst odds, but I think that I think it's for good reason, And we still seeing a lot of different things going. So I'm not telling anybody to take that bet because we're seeing a lot of just different things going on within the NBA. Gary. Like I think the injury to Paul George the other day is big, right? Because a lot of people thought the Clippers were,
it's huge. Kawhi's looking so good.
Right. So we're seeing so much, KD comes back for 3 games and then slips, like right before the game, and he misses another 3 weeks, right. So it's just it's a lot going on. I haven't placed any future bets because of that. But I think if I had to, I would probably put my money on the Bucks, just based on chemistry, based on camaraderie, based on defensive intensity, based on Giannis kind of having that killer instinct, and he hasn't won one in a while. So I think he probably got that smell of a new championship and some hardware on his mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I hope Philly gives Milwaukee a run for it, but you're right. Anything can happen, and the Bucks are just deep. They're smart. They're experienced. Denver looks the same way, except they've never done it before. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. Well, Chris, thanks so much for coming on the show, Hoops and Cards. You guys, this is so much fun. If you follow the NBA and love it, this is just one more way to do it. And more people like this is taken over. It's taken over our states. Like every other commercial is one of the. And then the other night we were out to dinner with some friends, and we were talking late. The place closed down, but the 2 or 3 of the workers were staying around, watching the March Madness and betting live on their phones, like with each play as Michigan State's going into overtime. And I'm like, it's here. Everybody's hooked. So I hope that means things are going well for you and the podcast growing and part of the Basketball Forever Network, man. It's great to meet you. And thanks for coming on Hoops and Cards today. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely, Gary. I appreciate you having me on, man. Maybe we could do a follow-up sometime, but I'll definitely, check you guys out over here on Hoops and Cards as well, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely, dude. You take care.
Take care. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it, Chris. Sorry,
absolutely.
Time goes fast, doesn't it? But
yeah, but it's fine. It's totally fine. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal.
Right. Awesome. Well, let's do it again.
Yeah, let's do it again. I'm a text message away, Gary. Just let me know.
Okay. We'll do. Thanks, Chris.
All right, man. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Bye.
All right.